6 months after Victor Ramsey was sentenced, a slow but terrible change began to creep throughout the town of Willow Creek. The high school, once the heart of the community, now stood silently closed. The football field where cheers once echoed had been mercilessly bulldozed, and the playground named after Lily Carter, a symbol of innocent childhood, was dismantled without a trace overnight. No one truly knew who was behind these actions, who paid for this destruction, nor did anyone dare to ask, as if an invisible fear had enveloped the entire town. Daniel Harper, with a frightening coldness and calculation, acquired every property Victor Ramsey had ever touched in his life. The house where Victor had once raised his family was now sealed, plunged into darkness. The church where he had once been a hypocritical deacon met the same fate, its doors permanently shut. The bar where he had once raised a glass to celebrate Daniel's wrongful conviction now also lay a desolate, ruined heap. All of them were boarded up, left to be gnawed away by time, rotting in dead silence. In the weeks that followed, a quiet heaviness settled over many homes in Willow Creek. He left behind a trembling, haunting note. "I only wanted to protect her memory." The town whispered malicious rumors, spreading like a virus, that Daniel himself had driven him to it. But no one dared to voice it aloud, fearing the invisible shadow of power that loomed over them, Victor Ramsey's wife. In ultimate humiliation, filed for divorce right in the prison visiting room. Some chose to leave Willow Creek entirely, hoping distance would free them from the shadows of its past. They changed their last name, as if wanting to bury the Ramsey name forever. In her unrest, she wrote a letter, hoping to find clarity in words she could not speak aloud. But Daniel? Then a terrifying legal storm erupted. Daniel sued the police department for malicious prosecution, full of ill intent. He sued the prosecutor for withholding crucial evidence, twisting the truth. He sued the laboratory for negligence, the carelessness that had ruined his life. And finally, he sued the entire town of Willow Creek for defamation, for turning its back on the truth. Every single case, without exception, was settled out of court. Hundreds of millions of dollars were paid in absolute silence, like unspoken admission of guilt. With that colossal thumb, Daniel bought the local newspaper, a symbol of information and power. He fired all the old reporters without a hint of mercy. He replaced them with a single journalist, whose only job was to publish the naked truth about October 17th, 2013. He even bought the prison, where he had endured 12 years of unjust confinement, stifled by injustice. He transformed it into a research center for wrongful convictions, a place to seek justice for the innocent. He hired former inmates who had suffered similar injustices as staff. Turning pain into strength, Victor Ramsey, the true culprit, was transferred to a different correctional facility on the day the sale closed as a final humiliation. On the first anniversary of his release, Daniel held a ceremony, a momentous event, in the town square. There were no lengthy speeches, nor was there any crowd in attendance. Only a solitary plaque, solemnly unveiled at the base of his own statue. Engraved upon it were haunting words, an indictment, and an eternal reminder to the 12 years stolen. truth delayed. Forgiveness is not required, but memory is. The town council, in a desperate attempt, voted to change the name of Willow Creek. They wanted to erase the painful past, to bury the horrifying memories. But Daniel, with boundless financial power, owned 72% of the town's land area. That vote, of course, failed miserably. And then the residents began to abandon the town, one by one, like ghosts disappearing into the night. Houses once homes were now sold for mere pennies for a few loose coins. Schools once bustling with laughter now stood empty, desolate. Stores once filled with customers also closed permanently, sinking into silence. Willow Creek had truly become a ghost town, with a mere single resident. Daniel Harper still lives in the largest house on the hill alone, solitary yet powerful. Every evening he sits on the porch, still like a living statue. He gazes down at the empty, deserted streets, at the boarded-up windows decaying with time. At the weeds growing through the cracked sidewalks, signaling inevitable decay. He never smiles. He never speaks to anyone. He simply waits, terrifyingly. Some say he is waiting for this town to completely die, to vanish entirely. Others whisper that he is waiting for Victor Ramsey to die in prison, so that his revenge can be complete. And yet others with a deeper insight suggest he is waiting for the day he can finally forget everything. But Daniel Harper, he does not forget. He remembers every face that spat on him. Monster remembers every voice that called him a monster. Remembers every tear that was never shed for him, for his pain, and in the terrifying silence of a town that destroyed itself. Trying to destroy him, Daniel Harper finally found peace. An empty street stretching into the fog, bordered by decaying buildings. Daniel's house stands alone on the distant hill. From his porch, Daniel watches the creeping shadows of evening fall over the silent town. The only sound is the wind, carrying the whispers of what once was Willow Creek. He sees the reflection of his own past. In the town's ruins, a chilling mirror. And in that mirror, his peace. Cold and haunting, truly reveals its terrible cost. The town sleeps. A tombstone for a name that could not be erased. A legacy of chilling triumph.